hitting the like button a bunch and sharing it with your favorite or least favorite Republican or some of your Democrat friends who may not have seen this. I've missed you guys terribly. Good morning, Raider Red, Barry, Von Swede, Melly. Good morning. You may notice it looks a little different today. We finally got a streaming computer. We're able to do this through TikTok Live. I hope you guys are excited about it. We'll be able to show more clips now. We'll be able to show live content. Will look a lot better. I'm really excited about the changes that we've made with a fast computer. I didn't know computers could be this fast, honestly. We upgraded, that's right. Gonna take some time getting used to it, but I'm here for it. I appreciate that. It's about time. We upgraded. No Felice today. Where's Mom? I'll discuss that here in a minute. Looks nice. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you liked it. I already miss Felice. Hi, Jay. New Beginnings. Thank you. Where are we at? We're at 253. Let's keep going on with that. Just as a reminder, down there in the, where is it? Right there. That's the Cash App and the Venmo. If you would like to donate to the show, that's how we keep things going here. That's how we were able to pay for a new computer, and that's how we're able to pay our bills. So if you'd like to donate to the show, you can do so there, and we will also read any comment that you send our way. I've been here since the beginning. Seems like forever. It does seem like forever. I agree with that. Where's Felice? She's not here. I'll cover that in a second. But apologize for taking those 2 days off in this week. Let's make sure this is all right. Don't love. Yeah, look, the camera quality sucks. I actually agree with that, but it's more of a lighting issue. So I'll get that fixed. I just need to get different lighting, and then the camera will look better. But today it's not going to be unbelievable. I'm crying, screaming, gonna throw up. Sorry, Kaylee. There's a bad oh yeah, when I look down that shadow. Yeah, I'm sorry guys. Like the camera's going to be shitty today. So I'll try and keep my head up and not look down so much. How about that? Will that help? Then you guys can see my eyes. Look, I know that Felice isn't here. We've not been live the last 2 days. And so we'll just get into it. After the DNC convention, where we were streaming 3.5 hours in the morning and then 6 hours at night, and after a lot of thought, it's just not a sustainable format for us. It's not sustainable for Felice and I to do 3.5 hours every day, and then try and do live content, especially when we're not in the same place. It was impossible. We can't use TikTok Studio. There were a lot of barriers. So Felice and I will no longer be working together on a daily basis. In the future, I hope to work on some projects with her. That's completely up to her. And I'm sure she'll make some announcements on her own coming up. I encourage everybody to support Felice. I have no hard feelings towards Felice. This is just unfortunately a logistical nightmare that we can't really build and grow when we don't have a studio, when we're not close to each other, when we can't have the same setup. And for what we wanted to do, it's not going to work. But I do hope during the election season for debates to have Felice with us as well. She's still a friend. I still respect the hell out of Felice. There's no hard feelings on my end. I'd encourage anybody who subscribes to our show, who subscribes for Felice, that you should end your subscription and subscribe to Felice over there. If you want to subscribe to both, great. That would be terrific too. But for anybody who's disappointed in this, I get it. I 100% get it. I'm not for everybody, and some people were Felice fans more than they were fans of me. And so if you want to go that direction, we support that as well. So anyways, I won't be talking about it a lot. It just came down to, there was no way to make it work logistically. If you guys want to talk, if you want to reach out to me, I'll try my best to talk to you guys, but there's a lot of messages. But going forward, we'll still continue to have guests. We're still taking, let's see, did I do multi-guest? Oh, I've got to take it off compatibility mode, son of a bitch. I may have to restart, actually. Let me see. Sorry, guys. This is part of it. Yeah, I'm going to have to restart. Sorry about that. In order for me to be able to have guests tomorrow, but let's see how that is. Sorry for the camera quality there, folks. We'll just do that. You're getting it. You're getting a close up right in my face. I hope you enjoy it. I hope I hope you guys enjoy that. Look, I understand. I understand the frustration for a lot of people. If you're just joining us with our announcement about Felice, I understand. I understand that's frustrating, and it was frustrating for me too. And it wasn't a decision that we made lightly. It sucks. As far as I know, Felice is doing well. We've had good discussions. I don't know what her plans are. She hasn't let me know what her plans are. I don't know if she knows what her plans are yet. So we'll figure that out. But until then, until she tells her plans, you guys can either take a break or you can hang out with me. Hopefully, you guys want to hang out with me, and I've got some stories to share today. So let me get those started here. We'll just jump right into it. Get over to here. There we go. The first story I wanted to cover today. This is a CNN article titled "Trump can soon tap his $2 billion True Social fortune, but it won't be easy." For months, President Donald Trump has been sitting on a social media fortune that he couldn't touch. That will change very soon. The lockup period prohibiting Trump from selling or even borrowing against his $2.3 billion stake in True Social is scheduled to expire by September 25th. I think if I remember correctly, there's a threshold of how many days the shares need to be over $12, and we're going to hit that. It looks like September 25th. In theory, this gives Trump access to a pot of money that he could use to pay sky-high legal fees or even fund his presidential campaign, which there's no chance, right? Donald Trump is not going to fund his own presidential campaign. We've seen this already. He's not doing that. It would be all but impossible for Trump to liquidate his whole stake or even a third of it without completely taking the stock price, says Michael Olraj, an associate professor of law at NYU. Trump media tumbled another 4% on Thursday, and they've lost, get this number, Trump media has lost a staggering 70% of its value since late March, a sell-off that has accelerated as Vice President Kamala Harris, the Democratic nominee, has gained in the polls against Trump. Now, this part is really telling. It's interesting that Trump, obviously the stock is falling for a good reason. I think last quarter they made something like $800,000. And spent like $30 million. But it's interesting. It's almost like everybody's just in on this together. Like, we're going to take Trump's stock, we're going to pump it to make sure he makes money, and nobody's going to care. Like, if Trump sells his stock and it crashes Trump media stock, that is Trump getting rich again off of the backs of his supporters. That's what they're planning here. This is a pump and dump scheme right in front of us. This is Donald Trump taking a company public just so that he can make money off of it. And not money because it's a good company, not money because it's good revenue, not money because they're providing jobs. They're not. It's literally just a pump and dump scheme. Trump media, like you said, has lost a staggering 70% of its value since March. And that sell-off has put a serious dent in Trump's net worth. As of May 9th, Trump's stake of 114.75 million shares of Trump Media was valued at $6.2 billion. You guys might remember that there was in May we covered that Trump potentially was going to make $6 billion on this, but he couldn't touch it. Because they say, as in typical in deals like this, certain shareholders are subject to a lockup period that prevents insiders from immediately selling. According to filings, the lockup period is scheduled to expire for Trump on September 25th, but it could come earlier. The lockup would lift if Trump's media share price equals or exceeds $12 for any 20 trading days within a 30-day period starting on August 22nd, which was few days ago. As long as the stock doesn't keep plunging, this would translate to the restrictions lifting as soon as September 20th. So this stock has to stay at $12 or above $12 in order for him to sell it for at least 20 days. I don't know where we're at. I think so far we're still at $12. Here's where we're starting to have a problem, though. The central problem Trump would face in selling most of his stake is that he's the dominant figure. Not only does he own a majority of the shares, he's also the most popular user on the central product, Truth Social. By the way, have you guys noticed that over on Twitter, Trump's getting a lot more vocal? That Trump's actually using Twitter now? And you know Trump cares about ratings. You know Trump only thinks about ratings. And so Trump's going to go out there and he's going to see his numbers on Twitter. I don't know, guys. I don't know how much longer Truth Social is going to be around. You don't see sizable shareholders like President Trump selling a lot of stock because it drives the price down. From the market's perspective, it may look like rats jumping off of a sinking ship. Now, if you were a legitimate company, if you were a company that wasn't bleeding millions of dollars with a product that nobody wants and it's glitchy, then yes, you might avoid selling off your shares. But that's not what's happening here. This is a dog shit product, and Donald Trump, I don't think, gives a shit if he stays in this project long term. You think Donald Trump cares at all about long term? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think we will see a sizable sell-off as soon as he possibly can. Need a Canada Goose hat for Jay. That'd be sweet. Let me check messages real quick. Make sure I'm not missing any of those. Did have a couple come in. Josh says, you're the best debater on TikTok. Thank you, Josh. I don't know if that's true, but I thank you. Josh also said, but as long as you're here, I will always support. And for RTP, Felice News is depressing AF. Sorry, I read those in reverse order. Yeah, guys, if you're just getting here, Felice and I have gone in different directions. No hard feelings there. We'll just be doing separate things mostly. Hopefully in the future we'll collaborate on some election stuff and some debate night type things. But that's if you missed that news, that's what's going on. Okay, back to Trump and the rats jumping off a sinking ship. Here's another problem that Trump has. He can't sell his stock yet, but there are some people who can sell their stock. Jen is still here, for those of you that are asking, by the way. Jen is still here. She's still on, with us. Some Trump insiders are already selling. For instance, Philip Yuhan, Trump's media CFO and treasurer, recently disclosed selling $1.9 million worth of stock. Trump Media's general counsel, Scott Glabe, COO Andrew Northwall, and Chief Technology Officer Vlad Novatsky made smaller sales last week, too. Even Devin Nunes. You guys remember Devin Nunes? The Republican congressman from California, the one who tried to sue a Twitter cow. He's the CEO and president. He dumped $632,000 worth of stock last week. In Trump's case, there could also be political considerations. If Trump were to sell a large number of shares and the stock price tanks, to some degree, he would be burning his own supporters who bought the stock, says Jay Ritter. Politically, that may not play out real well for him. I don't know who Jay Ritter is. I don't know how long Jay Ritter has been around Donald Trump and his supporters. Guess what Donald Trump supporters don't give a shit about? Being ripped off by Donald Trump. They do not care in the slightest. They've been ripped off by him multiple times. You have Trump University. You have his personal, the Trump Foundation. Case after case after case of predatory donation practices where people think that they're doing a one-time donation and then a year later they check their statement and that was a monthly donation. You go back, you look at the fine print, it's tiny. They don't care. It's almost a badge of honor for these folks when they get hosed by Donald Trump. It's like they're cool losing $1,000 as long as that money went to make Donald Trump even more rich. The only good thing about divorces are the multiple holidays. That's right. Felice and I will be splitting people. I think this year I get Thanksgiving, she gets Christmas. And of course, because we are raging communists, neither one of us will be celebrating the 4th of July. So you're on your own there. Another problem with Trump's media is that the price tag defies logic. And here's where we get into how big of a scam this Trump media is. Despite the recent sell-off, Trump media is still valued at nearly $4 billion. Remember, just in May, Donald Trump shares alone were worth $6 billion. Now the entire company is worth $4 billion. And it's hard to square that with the fact that the company made just $837,000 in revenue last quarter. Less than $1 million. And annualized, that's less than $4 million. How is a company that's their revenue is $4 million a year worth $4 billion? It's not. It's grossly overvalued, Ritter said. It's hard to come up with a value of the company that is much more than cash on the balance sheet. Trump Media is sitting on $344 million of cash and equivalents, funds the company said it could use to build its streaming business. The current price is just way higher than can possibly be justified based on fundamentals, Olrog says. While Trump may be unable to sell shares at this point, there's another way he could tap his true social fortune. Once the lockup period expires, Trump will no longer be prohibited from borrowing against his stake in Trump Media. This is what Elon Musk did to go buy Twitter. He borrowed against shares from a media company, or from Tesla, so that he could go buy Twitter. This is the very thing, and we'll get into this later in the show. This is why we need to tax unrealized gains for the billionaire class, for exactly this reason. And we all know Trump also doesn't like to pay his loans, and people in Trump's orbit, they'll just take the loss. Like, they'll just eat it. This is what they do. It could be, but even if banks won't lend to Trump, rich supporters could. It could be a wealthy individual who either thinks it's a good business or they see it as an opportunity to get on the good side of somebody who might be the next president. And that's where we run into what's going on here. We know that Donald Trump can be bought. We know that it doesn't take much for somebody to reach out to Donald Trump, give him a couple $100,000, and suddenly, boom, you've got submarine secrets. Suddenly, boom, he's holding up classified documents showing them to you. Suddenly, boom, you've got a job in his administration. This is a completely fraudulent business, and it's open for the Saudis, for the Russians, for Elon Musk, for Peter Thiel, for any of them to say, "Oh, don't worry, we'll inflate your price here. We'll go ahead and we'll buy 10 million shares." Ooh, sorry, we had a little glitch there. We'll buy 10 million shares here. You don't think Donald Trump's going to do pay to play? You don't think if somebody went in and bought 10 million shares of Trump stock, that he wouldn't give them what they wanted? Yeah, it's pay to play. This is just a way for Donald Trump to avoid campaign finance violations and to avoid the what's that rule called? Somebody help me. What's that rule called where you can't take money when you're in office? Somebody help me there. Who's got it? I know one of you guys has. Don't make me Google it. Someone has it. Logan. It's not the Logan Act. The emoluments. Thank you. Emoluments clause. Thank you, guys. Well done. Well done. By the way, we are taking opposition. If you disagree with anything we have to say here, or the Hatch Act as well. Yes, Hatch Act as well. Feel free to hop in the box. We'll take anybody who would like to oppose any of this. Well done, chat. Smartest chat on TikTok. Felice has it. Fuck you. All right. So that's what's happening with Trump. I don't know if he'll live long enough to ever even be investigated for this. It's a bizarre thing to be running these kind of scams at like the end of your life. So I don't know if he'll ever pay the piper here, but like it's a terrible if you've ever been on Truth Social, it's trash. It's not well run. It's just a copy of Twitter except for nobody's on it. All right, we'll go to the next thing. This is let's open that. Pull this up. You guys see this new Jack Smith indictment? That's got the Republicans angry. That's got Donald Trump angry. You guys see this yet? My daughter decorated my water bottle, by the way, if you haven't seen this. She found a thing of stickers, and those are all the things that she chose. So enjoy the water bottle. I'll read from this. So Special Counsel Jack Smith is pressing forward with his 2020 election interference case against Donald Trump. with a new indictment that aims to salvage the prosecution after the Supreme Court slammed the door on the possibility of a trial before the November election. The new indictment filed Tuesday in Washington includes the same criminal charges, but narrows the allegations in an attempt to comply with the Supreme Court's ruling that former presidents have broad immunity from prosecution. Here's what we need to know. Number one, why would you file a new indictment? The Supreme Court decision when was it? Was it last month? Said former presidents are absolutely immune from prosecution for official acts that fall within their exclusive sphere of constitutional authority. Furthermore, former presidents are at least presumptively immune for other official actions, the Supreme Court said, but prosecutors can try to make the case that those allegations remain part of the indictment. Former presidents do not enjoy immunity for unofficial or private actions, the justices said. This is what's been confusing about this case from the start. These attempts to interfere with the election, I haven't. Someone that's here that's a Republican, tell me, what official action is it to call Brad Raffensperger and ask him to find votes? Is that an official action? Is it an official action to pressure somebody to find votes for you? I don't think that's an official action. Now, Mike Pence, in his role, in his ceremonial role on January 6th, wasn't acting as the vice president, so that doesn't fall under the executive branch either. Right? He's the president of the Senate on that day. I don't understand this. I obviously Jack Smith's ahead of me. He understands what he has to refile this case, but in rewriting the indictment, Smith's team aims to make that job easier for Chutkan by removing references to allegations it believes could be considered official acts for Trump. So here's what's different. The new indictment does away with any references to Trump's interactions with Justice Department officials, whom prosecutors alleged he tried to enlist in his failed effort to undo his election loss. Those, I guess, generally could be considered official actions. They got rid of that. Prosecutors alleged Trump tried to use the Justice Department to conduct sham election fraud investigations and send a letter to states falsely claiming that significant fraud had been detected. That's what's kind of crazy, right? Donald Trump used the Justice Department, weaponized the Justice Department to try and overturn an election, and we can't prosecute. We can't even really investigate that. There's nothing we can do about that because with the Supreme Court's ruling, that falls under immunity. Oh, Jen, what did you need? Let's see. All right, Jen, I see you. I see you now, Jen. I don't know. Jen, message me if you need to come up. New indictment also deletes details about Trump's communications with certain other federal government officials like national intelligence and senior White House attorneys, who prosecutors say told Trump that his election fraud claims were false. For example, the new indictment says Trump had no official responsibilities related to Congress's certification of the 2020 election, but he did have a personal interest as a candidate in being named the winner of the election. This is a weird argument that I heard from the right yesterday, is that because they changed the wording from vice president to candidate, and it's because there is no official responsibility for the sitting president when we're counting the votes, when we're certifying the election. The vice president, acting in a different role as president of the Senate, is outside of the executive control. So that's why I think that they changed this. The first page of the old indictment refers to Trump as the 45th U.S. president. The new indictment says only that Trump was a candidate for president of the United States in 2020. Again, I think they're just trying to say, like, okay, we get it. There's official acts here. And for official acts, we can't prosecute. But now we're going to talk about the things he did as a candidate, things that were not official acts, which is, if you think about the things you can do as a candidate, just because you're president doesn't make it an official act, right? Campaigning is not an official act. Doing interviews is not an official act. Fundraising, not an official act. None of those things are official acts. So it appears that Jack Smith is just trying to narrow this to fit the Supreme Court ruling, but ultimately the case itself kind of stays the same. Jen, do you still need to come up? Let's see it. Or are you just trying to figure this out? We'll go there, Jen. I can bring up guests, Jen. Just have to change this. No. Jen? It's not loading. Not loading. All right. Well. See you, Jen. You guys can't hear Jen, right? Can any of you hear Jen? No? Okay. Cool. I'll disconnect that. Sorry about the format, guys. I don't know if I can change that while I'm live. I'm trying to look if I can go to... Yeah, I can't change it when it's live, so it's going to look a little rough today. Sorry about that. We got Tai Murray. Did I say that right? Are you there? Hello? Hello? Tai Murray? Oh, he's getting a lot of notes. All right. I can hear you. Could you guys at least hear the background noise from Tai Murray there? Oh, what's up with the background, guys? We'll get it fixed. We're just streaming from a computer now. We're using TikTok Studio, so it's gonna look a little bit different than it used to. So we'll get it looking prettier. All right. Tai Murray, if you want to come back, you're welcome to. Let's do this. Since there's a lot of questions about why everything looks different, let me show you why we're doing this. We're going to talk about our friend Vivek. I have a premise. I think Vivek is one of two things.
Sitting on large, it means you have to pay taxes.
I think Vivek is either a liar or he's dumb. And I'm going to show you with our new abilities that we can do here. Maybe. Let's see if it works. Boom. Check it out. We got video now. Yeah, I upgraded. I got a whole new computer yesterday. So, boom. Now we can do video now. If you're looking for me, I'm down here in the right corner. But Vivek's been doing the rounds. And Vivek is positioned by all these people as like this business expert. Vivek ran a pump and dump scheme himself. That's what he's actually an expert at. His mom got on the board of a drug company, and then he was able to scam his way through there and get a bunch of investments for his drug that ultimately never passed stage 4. But here's Vivek lying to the American people, or he's stupid and lying about what Kamala Harris is going to do.
Especially in the tech sector, you have people sitting on large, long-standing embedded capital gains. And so for people to understand what this means, it means you have to pay taxes on sales that you have not yet made. And even forget the stock market and think about even everyday Americans across this country. That means that if you're a farmer or if you're a small business owner, you will owe taxes with cash you literally do not have in your pocket to pay those taxes. That is a formula for a second Great Depression. And it is something that's been in the bloodstream of Democratic policy for a long time. Go back to Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders' plans of a wealth tax, even in the 2020 primary. I think this idea is here to stay for the Democrats. That's a big one. I think Tim Walz's selection as vice president says a lot. That's the first real presidential-style decision we've seen Kamala Harris have to make. She went with somebody who at the state level has favored increasing taxes on capital gains. In that case, it was unrealized, but they have talked about unrealized gains and taxing them. And I do worry about that, what that means.
He's like, we're talking about taxing unrealized gains. Tim Walz did that, but we're talking about unrealized. Like, does he know that he's saying the same word over and over there?
It means not just for the stock market, but for everyday Americans across the country.
The stock market, if there's not 60 votes for that in the Senate, the stock market doesn't have to price it.
Yes, 60 votes, or if you agree. I respectfully disagree with one aspect of that, because Kamala Harris has been the chief proponent of ending the filibuster to ram through her policy objectives. Yeah. And so if she's the president of the United States, and in my view, God forbid, a Democratic Senate to aid her, that could be 51 votes. And could you get to 51 votes on a major change in tax policy like that? I think the answer is absolutely yes. I think that's conceivable. And so for a lot of business leaders across the country, one of the questions they might want to ask is, which is going to be the administration that's more friendly to business? Well, we don't know where she stands on tariffs. We don't know where she stands on a lot of other questions. But on tax policy alone, the idea of not just raising tax rates, but raising tax rates and applying taxes on unrealized income, that is a catastrophe of epic proportion.
Yeah, he's so proud of himself when he finishes his sentences. First of all, this is talking about Carlos. Shut up or come in the box. I'm tired of you chirping in the comments every single day, complaining about that we're critical of your heroes. This guy's an idiot, and Carlos, I'm speaking directly to you, and this is what you should listen to. This only applies to people with a net worth of $100 million or more. This thing that he's talking about to small businesses, mom and pop shops that are going to have to sell off their business in order, or sell off their assets in order to pay their taxes. Well, if that's the case, then I don't think that they've managed their money very well. I'm concerned that they didn't manage their money very well, because this applies to 20,000 people. That's it. 20,000 people in this country this applies to. 350 million people live in this country. This applies to 20,000. But here's Vivek Ramaswamy on stage just trying to claim like, oh, this is going to apply. Anybody who has capital gains, any of you will have an increase on taxes. It's just not the case. Let me pop back over here. Looks like we have some opposition. If I can figure out how to bring them up. Actually, I can just do it from my phone. What's up, Judy?
Yeah, I'm not even opposition. I just love hearing you talk. You're a beautiful guy.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. See ya. Appreciate that. So, continuing with Vivek here, then Vivek, it doesn't get better. Vivek is such... Again, he's either a liar or he's dumb. And I think he's a liar, frankly. If we're going to guess, I think he's a liar. Because this is basic stuff. And he's not dumb enough that he can't understand how this stuff works. But here's a clip of him on the Breakfast Club doing the same shit. The same shit he just did here. The same lies that he was telling. Here's him on the Breakfast Club doing the exact same thing. Remember, here's how he's staging it to these people. Just so you know, this affects everybody. And then he's like, oh, white and black business owners. This affects everybody. She's talking about it. The only reason that Vivek knows that she's in favor of this is because she's talking about it. Why, I don't understand how they're saying like she's just got to talk about this. But again, it's a lie. What he's telling these people is an absolute lie. And what Vivek and what Donald Trump's strategy has been, and look, the Republicans are going to come up. I see a couple of you in the box. I'll get to you in just a second. But Republicans are going across the internet saying, oh, well, Kamala Harris refuses to do sit-down interviews. Well, Donald Trump got interviewed by Theo Vaughn. Steve will do it. Like, he's not going to places that know what he's saying is a lie. They don't know. They've no. What was that other guy's name? That awful kid. Whatever his name is. The guy that sniffs chairs. Somebody help me on chair sniffer guy. What's his name? The Andrew Tate lover. Aiden Ross. Thank you. Appreciate it. Aiden Ross. Like, Donald Trump's not doing real interviews, and now we're on the Breakfast Club, which I like the Breakfast Club. But if we're going to talk about like tax policy, I'm going to guess that Charlemagne the God doesn't necessarily consider himself an expert on tax policy. Let's bring up Bama. Roll Tide. Sorry about the format, guys. There's nothing I can do about this until next time, so I apologize.
Oh, hey, sorry.
Oh,
Mistake.
accident?
I was trying to...
No worries.
Love you.
Appreciate it. Love you too. I think the other person in the box was maybe a friendly too. Red labels only? I don't know. Red labels only? Oh, that dropped. Let's try again. Now Jen's going to instruct. Hi, Jen.
Hey, I think you can change the number of boxes.
You can't.
It doesn't.
No, it's because I'm in a different mode. I tried. I have to be in a different mode to start.
Can you change it from
You can't
panel
change
to
the
grid?
mode. No.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, all right.
We're just going to have a shitty layout today.
All right. Well, pull up Discord so that at least I can message you.
See.
All right.
I'll pull up Discord on this one here. There we go. All right. Again, Republicans, if you're opposition, feel free to hop in the box at any point. We would love some opposition today. So that's what Vivek Ramaswamy's up doing, and I hope you guys like that. It's pretty cool that we can play those videos. TikTok Studio finally works, and we're happy with that. Let me go to this story. Okay. This one made me laugh. This is from Midas Touch. I don't remember which Mycellus this is here, but I just want to share this story with you guys real quick. Pop back over here. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet. If you have, I apologize.
Ever wonder if some of those MAGA accounts on Twitter are real? Well, turns out, per a new CNN investigation, some of them definitely aren't. Meet Luna, a so-called Trump supporter from Wisconsin with 30,000 followers. Her posts praise Trump, bash Kamala Harris, and push conspiracies. But guess what? Luna isn't real. She's actually Debbie, a fashion influencer from Germany who had no idea her face was being used for pro-Trump propaganda. And Debbie's not alone. At least 17 European
Shout out catfishers, by the way. Shout out to catfishers if any of you guys know any.
women had their photos stolen and used by fake accounts pushing Trump 2024 campaign propaganda. These fake accounts are part of a coordinated effort to flood your feed with pro-Trump content using AI-generated photos and stolen images. One influencer said, "I don't even care about US politics," adding, "What the f?" So next time you see a MAGA post, just remember it might just be a bot or someone who doesn't even know it's happening. Ever wonder if some of those...
I thought that was hilarious when I saw that. And it's not surprising. Like, first of all, without throwing too much shade here, how many conservative content creators do you know on this app who use AI for their pictures? It's kind of like it's a thing. It's a thing for Republicans. They are big fans of making themselves look very, very different than they look in real life. It's a very, very Republican thing to do. And I thought that was hilarious. But Midas Touch does incredible work. But this goes along with everything we know about Republicans. Do you remember a couple months ago, Joey Manorino accidentally posted from his Twitter, and he was like, as a black woman. In fact, I'll pull it up. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Let's see if I can find this tweet. Yeah, here it is. Pop on over here. If you remember this tweet here. "I'm a true black American woman, and I've been black all my life. I was born black and I will die black. My mommy black, my daddy black. I will never cast a ballot for that Kamala Harris woman as long as I live. Trump all the way, all day, every day." And then just post this picture. He's obviously running like troll accounts, right? He's obviously has a backup account. Nobody's posting this as Joey Manorino. But this is what they do. That's the crazy thing on Twitter. Like, it's really hard to decipher who's real and who's not on Twitter, which is exactly how Elon Musk wants it. But this is the type of stuff that we're seeing out of MAGA every single day. So we shouldn't be surprised when it turns out that they're faking accounts now. This goes along with what Russia was doing with their bot farms, which is true. By the way, Russia bot farms, they're in rare form. They got their girl Tulsi Gabbard on the team now too. All the Russian assets are showing up Team Trump. We got Elon, we got Tulsi Gabbard, we got Donald Trump, we got maybe Melania. Maybe she's a deep state sleeper. Who knows? But they're showing up in record numbers for Donald Trump. Trump's not. But if you thought that was bad, if you think that's scammy, wait till you see this one. It doesn't ever stop getting scammy for Trump. It's all scam all the time. Get over here. Trump's get your wallets out, folks. Have your credit cards ready because you're going to want to purchase what Trump's about to sell you right here.
This is your favorite president, Donald J. Trump, with some very exciting news. By popular demand, I'm doing a new series of Trump digital trading cards. You all know what they are. We've had a lot of fun with them. It's called the America First Collection. 50 all new stunning digital.
You notice how, just to go back here, look at the body on Donald Trump here. Can we just talk about if this is realistic or not?
It's called the America First Collection.
This last one right there. That guy, what is that? That's fine. That guy is
all new stunning
that's
digital
not what he
trading
looks like.
Cards. It's really something. These cards show me dancing and even me holding some Bitcoins. Here's the best part. I'm doing great things for my Trump digital card collectors. First, there's the real physical Trump cards. Purchase 15 or more of my Trump digital trading cards and we'll mail you a beautiful physical trading card. It's really, I think, quite something.
Oh, yeah.
Each physical
Quite
trading
something.
card has an authentic piece of my suit that
I don't know if any of you guys trade, collect cards. I used to do that. I used to sell cards, and I still have that's not a very good piece, to be honest. That's not great. And again, we're getting a little generous with the Photoshop, MAGA. We're a little generous with I mean, you have a side-by-side. You can see the two people. Like, it's not, where's the vagina in the middle of his neck? Where did that go? What happened to the vagina neck? They're airbrushing that out now? How dare you? People aren't going to know it's Donald Trump if they can't stick their whole fist in the rolls in his neck.
I wore for the presidential debate, and people are calling it the knockout suit. I don't know about that, but that's what they're calling it. So
Nobody's calling it that. That's what he's calling it. It's probably what his son said. Nobody else is calling this suit the knockout suit.
we'll cut up the knockout suit, and you're going to get a piece of it, and we'll be randomly autographing 5 of them, a true collector's item. This is something to give your family, your kids, your grandchildren.
Pass it down from generations. Pass down your grift cards from Donald Trump. Collecting 101 is you need scarcity. There's no scarcity of these cards. However, if the shoes, there's scarcity there. Like, they can look as awful as they want. I honestly think those shoes are going to be worth a lot of money because it's absurd. But putting out new cards every 5 seconds is not going to make a scarcity.
Number 2 is to purchase 75 of my Trump digital trading cards, and you will also be invited to join me.
Okay. Who are these people? Who's that guy in the middle? Who the hell is that? That's not Donald Trump. The best version of Donald Trump didn't look that good. And I don't know who are these other people? Can anybody tell me who these other 2 people are here? Yeah, it's AI generated for sure. And look, we use AI generated stuff too because we're broke and we can't afford artists. I hope that changes at some point, but yeah, is that Gretchen Whitmer? Yeah, is it? I don't know. Mr. and Mrs. White and Myers, Clooney. I don't know who that is. Epstein and Giselle. Oh. But like, this isn't even close. And look how big his hands are too. Look at this hand over here. What is going on with his hand? His hands are not that big. Get out of here.
Me for a gala dinner at my beautiful country club in Jupiter, Florida. We really have tremendous dinners with my collectors. Have a lot of fun together. We're going to have a good time. I'm keeping my Trump digital trading cards at the same price of $99 each. We've done that right from the beginning. So go to collecttrumpcards.com. It's really easy to buy. You just need an email address and a credit card.
That's all you need.
You know, they call me.
There we go, Ken. What is this? Look at that chiseled jawline. And apparently, like, you can see here on this part, on his cheek, on his left cheek. Can you guys see my cursor? I don't think so. I don't think you can. On his left cheek, you can see that they like tried to push it down, and there's still a lump there. So you ought to get that checked. Honestly, I'd be concerned about that. He may want to get that lump checked out on his cheek.
The crypto president. I don't know if that's true or not, but a lot of people are saying that. So don't miss out. Go to collecttrumpcards.com. Go right now collect your piece of American history. Let's have fun together and enjoy my Trump cards. We're going to have a lot of fun. We'll be talking about it for a long time. Thank you very much. Have a good time.
There he is. There's the fighter. Oh. That's what they're up to. I like how he says Bitcoins. There's pictures of me with Bitcoins. Bitcoin, yeah. I don't. Guys, I don't. How do we deal with this? How do you guys, MAGA? Why does this exist? This is like shitty infomercials. Do you remember when I was a kid? I didn't have cable, and I used to watch the Ronco food dehydrator infomercial every day. It was, I don't know why, I thought it was the greatest thing ever. You could make your very own fruit roll-ups. You could you could make an apple slice a third of the size and dehydrate it. You could make your own fucking raisins, right? It worked on me. I'm sure this works on the MAGA folks. I'm sure it does, but good Lord, it's bad. Guys, just so you know, because we're playing clips, we're being we're live restricted. I don't know if TikTok's gonna fix that. I hope they do, because we plan on playing clips. So we maybe we'll just be live restricted until they fix that. But please help us out by continuing to like and share and get this out to as many people as you can. I've got some messages to read. Let's go and see if I can get these in order. Anthony says, hippie biker math nerd still supporting you both. Thanks, Anthony. Love you, brother. I still need to get to LA and have that barbecue. Kyle says, for the new host of RTP Talks, is that you? Because I wasn't the host. I get it. Jesse says, you sexy beta. Good luck if you look for another co-host. Look, I'm not planning on doing a co-host. Look, if I wanted to, if we could do this with a co-host, we'd still be doing it with Felice. But there's no way to do this with a co-host. That's what sucks. There's no way to expand in the way that we want to. Maybe hopefully down the road, like if we accomplish the goals that we want, we will have a studio. So Melissa says he was already debunked earlier. I think that was about Vivek. I'm pretty sure. And then is that from today? And then Tracy. Oh, you fancy now. That's right, Tracy. I'm fancy as shit. You like the vertical look better too? I don't even know what that means, but we'll get the lighting fixed. We'll get all the formatting fixed as we learn. But I wanted you guys to see that Trump video. If you guys are just joining, yeah, I mean you can head to our Discord. I put an announcement about Felice, but yeah, for the foreseeable future, it's just going to be me. Trump, though, the cool thing about Trump is every time he puts up something crazy like that, he comes back and he's totally rational and totally sane. And so Donald Trump put out, is this it? Donald Trump put out this video just because we had to get more sane. Let me check. Actually, there's a guest request. Natalie, go ahead. Come on up. Hey, Natalie.
Yeah, I was wondering how he can be the crypto president when he thinks crypto is actually physically mined.
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. Thank you. But just taking opposition today. Thank you, Lindsay. That's a great question, though. He doesn't know what crypto is. He has no idea. He just knows that if he says it, the crypto bros will be like, oh, he's down with crypto, which is exactly what all of them have said to us. Let's see.
This is your favorite president, Donald J. Trump, with some very exciting news. By popular demand, I'm doing a new series of Trump digital trading cards. You
playing
all
the
know
wrong
what
one.
they are.
Give me a
We've
sec.
had a lot of fun with them.
Sorry about that. Did I post this on there twice? Oh, I just clicked on the wrong. Sorry, guys. Get it right this time. What's going on here? Let me see if I can find this. Sorry, guys. I was trying to find a clip, and I think I posted it twice. I think I posted the same thing twice. Let me see if I can find it. Shoot. Well, I don't have it, so we're gonna skip that one. I'll play that one tomorrow. Now we go into the story of the day with Kamala Harris. You guys hear JD Vance? JD Vance is very upset with Kamala Harris. Donald Trump went to Arlington. And he went there for a photo op. There's no question about that. He went there for a photo op for the 13 fallen soldiers that lost their lives in Afghanistan. And he went there as like a fuck you to Joe Biden. I'm doing this, you're not. I didn't know any of this stuff, but apparently there's like real rules at Arlington. And especially when it comes to things that are political. You're not allowed to politicize Arlington. You can't create content there. And there's rules about cameras. Well, Trump's team, of course, because everything is content. And everything is staged, and everything is a photo op, because nothing about that person is anything other than phony. They had a cameraman, and the cameraman was asked by a staffer not to, a woman asked a male staffer, hey, no, you can't go up there to take a picture. He just pushed right past. And then they're claiming that they have permission. They've not shown any evidence that they had permission. The grounds at Arlington, they say no, like there was no permission granted. That's not how this works. But then we got JD Vance. And by the way, if you ever fuck up in life, I would highly recommend not using JD Vance as your spokesperson if you want to fix it. One, he's not a human, and two, he sucks at it. But here's JD Vance getting very upset at Kamala Harris, and he even says a bad word. He even sneaks in a little curse word. He has to think about it first. He's got to take a break, but he even says a bad word.
The other thing our veterans care a lot more about is that 3 years ago, 13 brave, innocent Americans died, and they died because Kamala Harris refused to do her job, and there hasn't been a single investigation or a single firing. I'd
like to point out there has been investigations. There's been internal investigations. In fact, anytime a member of the military loses their life in combat, we do an investigation. The investigations have been done. Firings, true. As far as I know, nobody has been fired over this. That's true. But is JD Vance going to tell us why they should be fired? Let's see.
Look, sometimes mistakes happen. That's just the nature of government, the nature of military service. But to have those 13 Americans lose their lives and not fire a single person is disgraceful. Kamala Harris is disgraceful. We're going to talk about a story out of those 13 brave, innocent Americans who lost their lives. It's that Kamala Harris is so asleep at the wheel that she won't even do an investigation into what happened, and she wants to yell at Donald Trump because he showed.
I'd like to point out that Kamala Harris is the vice president. She's not the commander-in-chief. And JD Vance is feigning outrage over this because this is what they do. Like, and the MAGA voting base, maybe they are that dumb that they think like, we'll just tell everybody that Kamala was the president. We'll just make it seem like she could have done anything about this. Even if she wanted to do something about this, she's not the commander-in-chief. What's she gonna do? The eyeliner's looking good. JD's Ozempic treatment is working. Looks like he might have got that haircut fixed, which he swoops all day now. He loves that swoop. Go back to
Donald
JD.
Trump because he showed up. She can go to hell.
Woo! Did you see? Look at him work up the courage to say a bad word.
She can go to hell.
Ooh, and he's so happy about it. Now listen, this is a crowd that was just heard from JD Vance that Kamala Harris can go to hell for a thing that he totally made up, a scenario that she had nothing to do with, and he totally made up, and now he's very upset. And so when MAGA supporters hear "go to hell, Kamala," obviously their initial reaction is, you'll see. See that? Guys, he's so proud of himself. Look at this. When they start chanting USA, this is a guy who's never he's never had people cheer for him before. Let's go back a hair more. Watch the smile come on his face when people start saying USA, and then he swipes his hair. He's so proud of himself. There's the chant. Oh, I did it. Oh, check the hair. Gotta check the hair. Nice. So we got old JD Vance over there telling Kamala that she needs to go to hell, and the crowd immediately chanting USA as if somehow that was patriotic. He made up a lie. He tried to frame Kamala as somebody who was responsible for the Afghanistan withdrawal. And then after telling her to go to hell, the crowd chants USA, USA, USA. I guess we can go through the full. Are you guys clear on the full story of what happened at Arlington? Or I do have an article that explains it. Are you guys clear on that? Do you want me to go over the article? Let me thumbs up in the chat if you want me to go over the article. If not, if you're clear on it, we'll skip it. I don't want to hash it or rehash it. The whole thing? All right, we'll hop into there. So this is an Axios article here. Let me pull it up. Maybe I'll pull it up. What is going on here? Where is it? Somehow I feel like I just deleted. How did I do that? I think I just deleted it instead. There we go. Don't worry, guys. I can work a computer. Everything's fine. I just deleted the article I need, but I found it again. All right. So the Trump campaign tells Axios it's weighing options on whether to release its footage of an altercation at Arlington National Cemetery. And that happened, I think, not yesterday, the day before. The 26th. I don't know what the date is today. Might have been yesterday. Could have been the day before. Here's why it matters. The cemetery is sacred ground for hundreds of thousands of American families. A cemetery worker confronted former President Trump's team on Monday to enforce rules against using the setting for political purposes. The events that followed are contested. An Army spokesman confirmed in a statement Thursday that an employee was abruptly pushed aside when trying to ensure adherence to the site rules. Now, remember, this is a woman, and so clearly a Trump person would not. They're not going to take orders from a woman. Okay, so that was the first. If you're going to talk to Trump's team at Arlington, you might want to send a man, because they are just not going to hear it if it's a woman. Participants in the August 26th ceremony and the subsequent Section 60 visit were made aware of federal laws, Army regulations, and DoD policies which clearly prohibit political activities on cemetery grounds. The spokesman added, the incident was unfortunate, and it is also unfortunate that the ANC employee and her professionalism has been unfairly attacked. The statement also confirmed the employee decided not to press charges, adding that the matter is now closed. Now, when we're talking about being unfairly attacked, what they're talking about is the Trump campaign calling this employee mentally ill. So the person who tried to enforce the rules is mentally ill, because that's what we do here with MAGA. Anybody who opposes what we say, that person is mentally ill. Again, the matter's closed. However, the stories coming out is that the reason charges weren't pressed is because the employee is afraid of their name getting out, and they're afraid for their safety, which is fair. Because if you criticize Donald Trump, you're going to have problems with Trump supporters. They're like, shout out my DMs. It happens. I mean, it doesn't happen to me as much as it used to, fortunately, but it happens. Let's see. Driving the news, cemetery officials told Trump's team that he could come in his personal capacity and bring personal aids, but not campaign stuff. The cemetery employee tried to enforce the rules as provided to her by blocking Trump's team from bringing cameras to the graves of U.S. service members killed in recent years. The Post adds, a larger male campaign aide insisted the camera was allowed and pushed past the cemetery employee, leaving her shocked. The cemetery worker who confronted Trump's aides won't press charges because she fears pursuing the matter would subject her to retaliation from Trump supporters. That's according to the New York Times. The Trump campaign claims that it had permission for the photographer, and they're weighing whether or not to put that out, along with the video. That's what the Trump team is saying. We're not sure if we want to put out how we had permission, or we're refuting these claims, but we're not sure if we're going to put out the video. We'll let you know. Cemetery spokesman tells Axios federal law prohibits political campaign or election-related activities within Army National Military cemeteries, which includes photographers. The cemetery reinforced and widely shared this law and its prohibitions with all participants for Trump's visit, per an emailed statement. A defense official told AP that the Trump campaign was warned not to take photos in Section 60, the burial site for military personnel killed while fighting in Afghanistan and Iraq. Trump was at Arlington at the invitation of some of the Gold Star families of the 13 service members who were killed in the Kabul airport bombing exactly 3 years prior. Photos that spread on social media showing Trump smiling at gravesites with the families of fallen service members added to the scrutiny surrounding the visit. Now, I was kind of unaware of this. I got a little bit blindsided by this when I went to Jeffrey's live. Political Hillbilly, will you just let our moderators know if you are opposition? But this was brought to my attention, and it's brought to Republicans are saying, where was Kamala? Why wasn't Kamala there? And we'll see that here too, because J.D. Vance, Mr. I fucked it up again, had an opportunity to address this in that same rally that he was at, and here's J.D. Vance just screwing over the Trump team once again because he can't be bothered to just get something right.
You guys in the media, you're acting like Donald Trump filmed a TV commercial at a gravesite. He was there.
Yeah, we are acting like that. We do think that. I just want to be clear. That is what we're saying. We are saying that this was a commercial. So, with all fairness to JD Vance, that is what we're saying.
You're acting like Donald Trump filmed a TV commercial at a gravesite.
Yeah, we are saying that.
He was there providing emotional support to a lot of brave Americans who lost loved ones they never should have lost, and there happened to be a camera there. Somebody gave him permission to have that camera there.
Wait, did it happen to be there, JD, or did somebody give you permission? Can you help me out with that, JD? Did it happen to be there, or were you given permission?
Lost loved ones they never should have lost, and there happened to be a camera there, and somebody gave him permission to have that camera there.
How? So here's JD Vance. He shoots himself in the foot with his last comment, like it happened to be there, but also there was permission granted. And bad news, guys. Bad news. I have something to show you. Remember, the Trump campaign, they would never use moments like this for a commercial. They wouldn't use this for advertising in any way because they're above that, and they were just there, like JD Vance said, to show emotional support. And there just happened to be a single cameraman there who was granted permission. So obviously, this next ad that came out by the Trump team won't have any footage from there. This came out the next day, but obviously this won't have anything.
We lost 13 great people. What a horrible day it was. We didn't lose one person in 18 months. And then they took over that disaster, the leaving of Afghanistan. We lost 13 great
So
people.
the next day, they use an ad. And by the way, this is I'll go over here. This is the view that we're talking about. All of this was not to be used. This is section 60, where we are not supposed to have cameras. This is section 60 here, not supposed to have cameras. Look how many camera angles we have here. Look how many camera angles for you're not supposed to have cameras here. Look how many we have. And if you look here in the bottom corner, this is at real Donald Trump. This isn't somebody else made this. This is real Donald Trump. They're the ones that made this. Like, either they're trying to screw JD Vance, or they're not giving him the talking points. I don't know what's going on with JD Vance, but what a remarkably stupid thing to say, knowing that the next day a video's coming out. I'll bring you up there, political hillbilly. Welcome.
Hey, what's up, boss?
Hey.
Do I have an echo?
It's not bad. You're good.
I can turn off my Bluetooth if I need to. That's why I'm asking.
No, it's okay.
Okay. So, do's and don'ts of Arlington. It doesn't say anything in there about where because I'm on the Arlington website. ArlingtonCemetery.mil. Nowhere does it say that there can't be cameras. And then also, oh crap.
It doesn't say that you can't have cameras, but it does say that you can't have cameras for political purposes, which was sent in an email to all of Trump's team.
Well, I don't see that on their website.
I know, that's why they said they emailed it to him.
I was looking up something on Axios just a second ago, and I accidentally closed it out, and so
you're good.
I can't tell you what I was going to say.
Well, Axios is what I was reading.
Okay, cool. So yeah, and I wish I could pull back up. I can't remember what I typed in, but there was something else there, and I can't remember what it was.
Okay. What do you think about politicizing this? Let's say that the rules were fine. What do you think about politicizing this?
I don't see an issue with it. You're going there to do a ceremony.
Yeah.
Politicizing is what they're all about.
Okay, so yeah.
On both sides.
Okay, well,
right?
No. One side didn't do this. Only one side did this.
What I'm saying is, you're saying if it was okay, both sides would do it.
Yeah, well, it's not. It's not okay. One side is doing it.
Again, I don't see in their website, on their page, on arlingtoncemetery.mil, where it says anything about that. What's the specific code on the DoD that states that?
I don't know.
Okay, well, if you're
going to
quote the DoD, give me the code. Yes, please.
I don't have the code. You get the code. If you're going to refute the claims from the Arlington spokesperson, you think the Arlington spokesperson is just coming out here lying about what their rules are to try and smear Donald Trump?
I mean, it would depend. It would depend on their political views. Yes, absolutely.
How come every time anybody says something bad about Donald Trump, your knee-jerk reaction is, "Oh, it must be political"?
Well, I mean, I would say that about both sides because I'm fair with both sides.
All right, tell me the other times that the Arlington spokesperson has ever come out and talked to about a political campaign. When are the other instances when this has happened?
I've personally never heard of anything.
Yeah,
but then again, I've just recently started getting into politics, so.
You know, I've been in politics for a long time. I've never heard of it. I've never once heard the amount of people that have to come and speak out against Donald Trump, and it doesn't matter. Like, you guys aren't ever going to believe any of this. You think they're just like, this is a political game to them? They made up a story of the staff member being pushed. They made up a story of the emails that they sent. There's going to be records of that. You think they would come out and say we sent emails when they didn't?
Of course they wouldn't. Why would they do that?
Well, then we've got a problem here because they're saying that they told them in an email that they could not bring cameras.
Well, then where's the email that says that?
That's what I know. That's what I just said. I said, do you really think they would come out and make this statement if there wasn't an email?
No, I don't think they would.
No, probably not, right? It's almost like Donald Trump's team doesn't give a shit. It's almost like Donald Trump doesn't give a shit. This is the same guy that called military people suckers and losers. This is the same guy that denigrated John McCain. This is the same guy that dodged the draft. Like, I don't know why you guys still think he gives a shit about veterans. He saw an opportunity to trash Biden. That video that he put out, it didn't say anything about those 13 soldiers. The video that he put out and he made was 100% political, and it was just saying, like, I was so great when I was president that we didn't lose anybody in Afghanistan, which isn't true, depending on your timeline. And he just did that as a campaign ad. He went with Gold Star Families and created a campaign ad, and in that ad, he didn't mention any of the people who lost their lives.
I thought he said something about losing their lives. About we had 13 people that lost their lives.
No, I said he didn't say anything about them. Right? He's just like, oh, there's 13 people.
The ad that you put up, that you played, it said there was 13 people.
I know. He didn't say anything about them.
Okay, he didn't, but the ad did, correct?
No, the ad said there were 13 people. I'm saying we know there's 13. We know they said there was 13. They didn't say anything about them.
You didn't say anything about them, but
do you want me to play the ad again? Why are we, if we're so worried about if this is really was, like JD Vance said he was there just to support these families. Well, then why didn't he say anything about them? Other than that there's 13? That's sufficient? That entire ad was just trashing Joe Biden. That's what that ad was doing.
Why is trashing Joe Biden though? Play the ad again, please. I'm trying to look something up too at the same time.
All right, let me find it. Give me 1 sec. I think I can do this. I don't know if I can switch screens.
I wish I wouldn't have got rid of that Axios one.
Oh, I can't switch screens when there's multi-guest. Tell me if you can hear the audio. I don't know.
Okay, we lost 13.
Could you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it.
All right, I'll start it over. We'll just have to hear the audio for this part.
We lost 13 great people. What a horrible day it was. We didn't lose one person in 18 months. And then they took over that disaster, the leaving of Afghanistan. We lost.
the whole thing. 22 seconds long.
Okay. So in the beginning, he says we lost 13 great soldiers. He says that.
Yeah, we've
He
covered.
says on the say that they took over. We lost nobody in 18 months, and then they took over. And
yeah, he's not talking about them. He's talking about him.
To the 13.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't pay tribute. He acknowledged that they exist, and then he made it about him and his campaign. This is clearly... J.D. Vance said this wasn't for campaign reasons. It's not like we were out there making a campaign video. The next morning, they released a campaign video. Why is it so hard for you guys to believe that a draft dodger, somebody who doesn't care, hasn't ever shown in his entire life, he's never shown that he cares about the military. He denigrates military heroes all the time. Why is it so hard for you guys to believe that he's just using people in the military?
Didn't Biden try to dodge the draft too?
No.
Who else did as president?
There were people that received deferments for legitimate reasons. Like Mitt Romney, he got a deferment for because he was Mormon. You got deferments for like ecclesiastical missions, which he was going on. There were ways to get deferments, but he faked bone spurs.
So under USA Today fact check, Biden, like Trump, received multiple draft deferments.
That's what I just said. I literally just said you can get deferments for legitimate reasons. People, not everybody who avoided the draft would be called a draft dodger. And there might be like better reasons to dodge the draft than others. Muhammad Ali comes to mind. Muhammad Ali didn't want to go to Vietnam because he said they've never done anything to me. Like, I think that, like, we're just going after brown people. That's more legitimate than going to a doctor and being like, hey, can you say I have bone spurs so I don't have to go fight? And that's fine. Even then, I actually don't really care. Like, but then this guy, the same guy is up there being like, calling everybody else losers, suck, you got caught. The guy Spurs calls General Milley stupid, calls Milley stupid. He denigrates our military servicemen and women all of the time. If they ever say anything bad about him, he denigrates them. And yet he faked an injury to miss the draft. I'm just wondering why you guys think, why you think this guy gives a single shit about the military. How about, do you know that when, after we killed Soleimani, and we were counterattacked, that there was a bunch of soldiers that got traumatic brain injuries, and Trump lied repeatedly and said that they just had light headaches?
Okay. I haven't read that, so I can't take your word for it.
Do you want me to pull it up? I can read it for you if you want.
I have to take your word for it.
Well, I can read it for you.
That still doesn't prove it to me, but okay.
Prove what?
You can read it.
Okay, if somebody has if someone has a traumatic brain injury and you refer to it as a light headache, what do you think that's a sensible take?
I mean, if somebody has a traumatic brain injury, they have a traumatic brain injury.
Okay, but Trump said that I heard that they had headaches and a couple of other things, and I would say, and I can report, it's not very serious. Do you know if traumatic brain injuries are serious?
I mean, I'm sure some can be, can't they?
Yeah, they can't. Yeah, no, they are.
Not as serious?
Well, yeah, all injuries, there's severity, but any traumatic brain injury is serious. Yeah. Any traumatic brain injury. I had multiple concussions. I used to play soccer in college. I had multiple concussions, and I still have problems. Like, I'll still get headaches from that. If I got a concussion a year ago, just like something hitting my head, not that hard. But now it's really easy for me to get concussions. I have to be careful. I can't play contact sports.
Yeah, I've had a couple concussions myself.
Yeah. So then the reporter pressed him after that and said, so wait, you don't consider traumatic brain injury serious? And he said, well, they told me about it numerous days later. You'd have to ask the Department of Defense. Do you think that's an answer to the question? The question is,
yes and no, because he didn't know the actual specifics of it.
No. That wasn't the question. See, this is the problem we have with Trump. He refuses to answer the questions that he's given. He just gives an answer to whatever he thinks the question was or whatever he wanted the question to be. But the reporter asked, you don't consider potential traumatic brain injury serious? And so I agree. So you can say here, they told me.
He says that I heard they had headaches.
Okay.
He's going on what he heard, not what he knows.
Okay, but hold on.
There's a difference.
I agree with you. And now you're saying.
All right.
Yeah, well, stay with me. This isn't going to get better for you, I promise. Well, it doesn't. He said they told me about it numerous days later. You'd have to ask the Department of Defense. So my claim is that Trump doesn't think traumatic brain injuries are serious. And you're saying that's not what he said, right?
I'm saying he didn't know himself specifically, like he didn't read the reports.
Right. So he doesn't know if traumatic brain injuries are serious, right? But he didn't say that they weren't serious, right?
That's not what I'm saying.
Well, did he say that they weren't? Did he say that they weren't serious? I haven't seen that.
I'm going by what you said. You said that he said that they, from what he told them.
Yeah. Okay. So let's. Okay. Great. So his answer is, are they serious? He said they told me about it days later. By the way, he's speaking in the future. So even if they told him days later, he's talking about it to that reporter right now. So at this point, he knows. And she asked, like, wait a minute, you heard they had headaches and a couple of other things. That's what he first said. And then she brought up the traumatic brain injuries. And he's like, oh, they told me that after. Well, after is right. Like, this is all after the after. So at this point, he knows there were traumatic brain injuries. And he started this conversation by saying they had headaches and a couple of other things. So it seems like he knew when he was answering this question, right?
He may have, I'm not sure.
All right. And then he continued. He said, I don't consider them very serious injuries relative to other injuries I've seen. And then he lists, like, I've seen people with no legs and no arms. I've seen people that were horribly, horribly injured in that area of war. Now, remember, the question wasn't, is getting your legs blown off the same as a TBI? Is one more serious than the other? The question was, so you don't consider potential traumatic brain injury serious? And then after that quote that he said, I've seen other things, he said, no, I do not consider that to be bad injuries. No. So he downplayed headaches. And then when he was confronted about it, he's like, oh, I just don't consider that to be serious. Well, why didn't he just say it then? Why did he say headaches? Why didn't he say traumatic brain injury?
It's a big question. I don't have an answer for that.
Well, I think I could float an answer to you. The answer I would float to you is Donald Trump has never taken responsibility for anything that he's ever done wrong in his life. And this was a counterattack after what we did to Soleimani. And Donald Trump doesn't want to take accountability for the fact that he put a bunch of U.S. service folks in danger. And now they have traumatic brain injuries. And that was because of decisions he made. And if he was had true courage, he would say, look, this happens in war. Like, this is what happens, and I feel for them, or whatever. But instead, he just lies about it and pretends that it's not that serious. He did this with COVID, too. Remember, COVID, there's 1 or 2 cases, it'll be gone in a month. It'll be gone as soon as the sun comes out. It's not that serious.
Differently, I'll agree with that.
It's weird how he... Yeah,
I agree with that. He could have handled totally differently.
And this. Why does he lie? Why does he lie so much?
Shut down a month before we did.
Yeah. And now you've got a party...
Here's the Axios thing. Here's the Axios thing I had pulled up real quick. I actually was able to find it again because I Google searched what I thought I had. So, what are cemetery rules around filming? So, photography is generally allowed. The photos taken by visitors do not require a release per the cemetery's use policy. There are most strict guidelines mandated in part of federal law for members of the media or commercial or political filming. Now, he didn't film the commercial at Arlington. He used video that while he was at Arlington. You'll agree to that, right?
No, that's the same thing.
Filming a commercial.
When you film a movie, you don't edit the movie on the spot. Sorry, you're breaking up now. I'm losing you, brother. Can't hear you. I think it's your internet connection, not the Bluetooth. Try again, one more time.
out.
Yeah, I can't hear you. Sorry, bud. All right. Well, if your internet gets better, come back again. We'll bring you back up. Disconnect that. Somebody sent me they said 32 CFR. Phil, thank you. And thank you for the donation. If anybody wants me to read their comments, you can send it to the Cash App or the Venmo here. Phil says it's 32 CFR 553. That's the memo to restrict photography. I'll look through that after. I've got that pulled up, but thank you, Phil. See what else I missed here. Wasn't me, says JD Vance on the bedroom walls. JD Vance is on the bedroom walls of incels everywhere. He's the hero. He's the incel hero. He's the one that's making fun of all the women who don't want to date you, and it makes you feel good. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what part of this is the filming. I'll read through it later. But it is just strange to me that people would say like, oh, there's somebody at Arlington putting out an email. They're just lying about putting out an email. Guys, once again, if you're in the requests and you're not opposition, please hop out, and I'll bring people up one by one. But if you're not opposition, drop out. We'll still do Friendly Friday tomorrow. Hey, Tracy. Tracy is not loading. Let's go to Tiare. Is that how you say that? Oh, that didn't load. Tiara did not load. Sorry about that. Nika and Christine, I see that you're both gifters, so for now I'm going to pop you out. If you are opposition, hop back in. I'm guessing that you just accidentally did that. For those that are still, I guess we'll announce it one more time. For those that are just joining, Felice and I are not doing the show together anymore. We will hopefully in the future be doing some other content together. But just logistically, there was no way to make it work and still grow what we wanted to do and do the type of events we wanted to do. So the morning show for now will just be me, but we'll have guests. We'll reach out to some of the people that we've worked with before. Danielle, we'll have days, hopefully when Felice comes back. She's just taking a little bit of time off. I'm sure she'll address this when she wants to. No hard feelings on my end. I haven't talked to her since yesterday. And I think we were on good terms yesterday, so we'll see what happens. But that's why Felice isn't here. So going forward, Felice won't be here. I hope to do some content with her in the future, but we'll have to see. Which means that going forward, the next couple of days, we might be short on content as I try and figure out how we're going to structure this. It may not be quite 3.5 hours every day until we figure that out. Let's get back to this. I actually wanted to show this. Go back to my bookmarks here. Trump using the military as like a pawn and as a way to play politics is definitely nothing new here. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, this is the one. Here is here's some stuff I was able to find through the Twitter archives of times when Donald Trump, Mr. I love the military, was not so respectful of the military. This is from Mark Knoller. Flag back at full staff atop the White House. President Trump did not issue a proclamation of death on Senator John McCain. If you remember this, when this happened, John McCain passed away and the president said nothing. And usually this calls for flags to remain at half staff through the day of interment, which is Sunday. So this would be at half staff all the way through Sunday. And if you're saying like maybe they just forgot, well, here was the quote. I'm trying to remember the source here, but Trump remained fixated on McCain, one of the few prominent Republicans to continue criticizing him after he won the nomination. When McCain died in August of 2018, Trump told his senior staff, according to 3 sources with direct knowledge of this event, "We're not going to support that loser's funeral." And he became furious, according to witnesses, when he saw flags lowered to half staff. "What the fuck are we doing that for? Guy was a fucking loser," the president told aides. Trump was not then invited to Senator McCain's funeral, which... good for McCain. Good for McCain. It was one last fuck you to Trump, and he deserves it. Trump is the only president in the history of our country that has no respect from any of the other presidents. He doesn't have respect from the former party leaders of his party. He only has the respect of his voters and the sycophants around him that want to ride his coattails. It's who he is. It's who he's always been. I think one of the probably the most frustrating part about dealing with Trump and interacting with MAGA is that they believe him. They just believe the things that he says. And even when the things he says don't line up with his actions, or even when the things that he says don't line up with things he previously said or things that he says then in the future, nobody cares. MAGA is like a choose your own adventure. You just you get to pick and choose what Donald Trump said that works for you. Even if he's taken the opposite position on everything else, you get to do that. Thank you guys for helping us hit that subscriber goal, by the way. I appreciate it very much. And if any Republicans are here and you'd like to jump in the box, we'll have a discussion about any of this. Did I do that? I think I covered that one. All right. Now here's what I want to do. I want to cover some polling. If any of you guys have been watching the Real Clear Politics, let's take a look at the state of the race now. We'll go to the RCP average here. Pop over. All right, so here we have Real Clear Politics. These are our current. Now, Rasmussen, which we talk about over and over, that they oversample Republicans, and they are one of the least legitimate polls. At one point, I think they had Trump plus 7 or 8, not that long ago. Trump's lead, even in Rasmussen, which is oversamples Republicans, is down to plus 2. Everywhere else has Harris up. Yahoo News, Morning Consult, CBS News, Emerson, ABC News, Washington Post. Fox has it at plus 1, but we'll look at some swing state stuff from Fox. And Pew Research has it at plus 1. You can see here, if we just go down to the graph, this is how it looks. When Biden stepped down, I think it was here. Yeah, right there. July 21st. Biden was at 44% in the averages, and Trump at 47.9. You can see here, August 4th, as Harris starts campaigning, now we're getting this gap. Now we have this gap that's growing. And you can see Harris is rising and Trump is falling in the polls here. See all the red down here at the bottom, and then it goes blue? We're seeing massive change here. If I scroll back up and we go just into these swing states, we'll start with Arizona. There we go. Arizona, all of this was red. We now have a Fox News poll. The latest poll has Harris plus 1, Hill Emerson at Trump plus 3, and Rasmussen, Noble Predictive. Most of these, Noble Predictive, Rasmussen, not typically places we rely on. Fox News does great with polling. Hill Emerson, they do great with polling. That's what it's looking like for presidential polling. But here's what I want you to see. This is interesting in Arizona. We have a Senate race with Kari Lake and Ruben Gallego. Now, look at all the red here. We have all this red here on the right. It's split. Trump's barely ahead, 0.2. Look what happens when we do Gallego and Kari Lake. These are the same voters, guys. These are the same people. I have a hard time. I have a hard time with this. I have a hard time figuring out how these polls are so different. Gallego plus 7, plus 15, plus 8, plus 9, plus 9, plus 3, plus 7. Right? Clearly trending in the right direction. The other thing we have to remember is that all of the demographics in these states are changing. And the places in Arizona that are growing are where we're at, Maricopa County. That's the spot that's growing. We've had a bunch of people move in from different states. We've had a lot of economic growth. We're growing. In these population centers, when we grow blue. So the question is there support outside of Maricopa County in Arizona where Donald Trump's coalition has grown? That's the one that's hard for me to figure out. It's not like those areas are growing. It's not like those areas have a bunch of new residents. So we have to assume if Trump's going to do well in those areas or well enough to overcome Maricopa County, we either need to flip some voters or we've got to turn out some voters who didn't show up last time. If we head over to Michigan, we go back to Trump-Harris. It's kind of a similar story. Harris now completely blue in Michigan. Everybody's got a blue except for this one from August and 11th. Again, we go to the Senate. We're going to go to Rogers versus Slotkin here and watch what happens. +5, +6, +10. Now you guys can see I must look at golf stuff. You can just see all my cookies there. Montana, we're looking at Montana. Oh, that's, sorry. That was for, like, why do we have Montana up there? We go over here to Wisconsin. Again, Harris has climbed in all these polls. These are much tighter numbers. You can look from when Biden took over. He was at, or withdrew, he was at 43%. Harris has picked up nearly 5%. And Trump's remained roughly the same, but Harris is on top there since the takeover. Look what happens when we look at the Senate, when we've got Hovde and Baldwin. Same story. +6, 4, 1, 10, 8, 7. Do we see a pattern here? There's a really weird pattern here where these Senate Democrats are outperforming Harris, but they were severely outperforming Joe Biden. I think that the polls are playing catch up. I think that's what's going on right now. We go to Pennsylvania. Again, a lot of red there. But if we go to the Senate, it's all blue. It's really interesting how this is playing out. North Carolina is by far the most interesting spot now. This is where the polling has really changed. If we go back, are they going to show me? They don't have the graph on this one. Terrific. If we go back, like, let's take Hill Emerson, right? So from February, you had Trump +9 from Hill Emerson. Now today, +1, 8-point swing. See the difference there? That's at the bottom and the top. And then we head over here again. Robinson Stein. Their numbers have came. Like, how are the Democrats picking up all this momentum up here at the top? I don't know what's going on with the polls. I haven't heard a sensible reason for why the Senate polls are so off from the presidential ones. Let me click on this over here. But it is interesting. If we want to go down to, if we go to Texas here. Oh, it's not going to give me Texas because it's top Senate races. Let's go to Texas here. Let's look what's happening here. The latest out of Texas came from University of Houston. Ted Cruz had a 10-point lead, 11-5-9. University of Houston, the only poll since July, has that at +2. If we want to go down to Florida, latest poll has Tim Scott +4, where he was at +8. Right, so we're seeing momentum consistently on the side of Democrats over and over and over again, and it's beautiful to see. I think I had an article on North Carolina. Let me see if I still have it. I don't have it. I'll cover that tomorrow. I only have a couple more stories to go, and then we'll probably shut it down for the day. Again, if you guys are Republicans and you want to discuss any of this stuff, we can talk about it. But I would like to talk about Elon Musk. Let me pull this article up here, and then I'll check messages here too before we get going on Elon. Let me turn off the volume. Perfect. The site I was just on was Real Clear Politics. It's by far the best. Like, if you want averages, if you want to see new data, you can click on each of those polls and you can actually see the data, the questions that they're asking in the polls, the sample size. It'll give you a better idea of who they're talking to. Grab a drink. Okay, there were no comments that came through. All right, so this is a story about Elon Musk, who has just, we all know he's just like, I don't know why Elon wants a spot in the Trump administration. I don't know what his end goal is there, but he clearly does, and he clearly doesn't want his taxes cut. Tesla CEO Elon Musk enlisted the help of a Republican advisor to increase and guide his political involvement. Chris Young, who's a seasoned Republican operative. He was the national field director for the RNC in 2016. I believe he started with, I'm trying to remember who he started with. I don't remember who he started with. But the move comes as Musk looks to shake up his new super PAC, America PAC, which is like the dumb, like it's so transparent. I just put the word America and Republicans are like, yeah, we'll give you money, which is focusing on turning out the vote for Republicans. Initial efforts suffered from problems such as poor communication and lack of coordination. If we go down here further, so he's now using real political operatives. So Elon Musk is getting more and more serious about this. And let me pull this up. Boom. Sorry, it's going a little slower than I wanted it to. Where did it go? Now I'm behind a paywall. Ah, shit, I can't find the story. I did the same thing again. I'll just tell you. I'll just give you an idea of what happened. So what they've done is they've taken their outreach and they put up these ads all over the internet. And they're claiming that they're getting people registered to vote. If you click on the ad and you don't live in a swing state, it registers you to vote. It just sends you right to the website to register to vote. If you're in a swing state, it has you accept cookies and it scrapes your data. And what they're doing, my guess, is the same thing Cambridge Analytica was doing prior to 2016. They went through, they scraped the data, and they build profiles so they know how to target ads. And this is where you start getting these crazy, like QAnon, batshit crazy ads. I don't even know if we can call them batshit crazy because they're almost just like standard Republican lines now. But Elon Musk is now being investigated because they're fronting like they're registering people to vote, but they're actually not. They're just scraping data. And then at the end, after they've scraped your data, they just forward you to like a voting website, to the state's registration website. So more Elon, typical awesome Elon stuff. And I think that might be everything I have today. Make sure. Yeah, that's everything I have today, guys. I apologize for it being short. We got the computer last night, so I had basically this morning to put this together. In the future, we plan on going live longer. I'll have more clips. We'll have guests. Again, Friendly Fridays, that's back in. We'll still have that tomorrow. Anybody who's friendly that wants to come up and have a conversation, we'll be happy to do that. If you have questions about the changes in our programming and in the layout and the structure, feel free to DM me, but I'd recommend doing it on Discord. It's hard for me to get to all the TikTok messages. So if you join our Discord, you can message me there. If you want to join the Discord, shoot myself or Jen or any member of our mod team a message, and we'll get you a link to the Discord. And you can hang out there. In the meantime, if you want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, it's also easier to get a hold of me there. I like interacting with people. Those are more personal. I don't put out a lot of content there. So that's a place where it's easier for me to connect with each of us, or each of you, excuse me. So if you want to follow me over there, that would be great. If you go over to YouTube, subscribe. It's free. Like a video. That helps us a great deal. The replays of all our lives will be found on YouTube. You can find them there every single day. And hopefully with some more like clippable content. Hopefully we'll have more 5 to 10 minute segments that we can pull from our lives. So you have stuff that if there's something we cover that you think I want to share that with a family member or a friend, we'll have the segment that you can share. You don't have to make them go watch the entire thing. So I appreciate you guys' patience. I appreciate your understanding in this change of direction that we've taken. And I just want to say before I go, Felice is one of the smartest people I've ever known. Probably the smartest person I know. And a great deal of what we did that made this program successful was because of Felice, and it will likely be impossible to replace that. I don't think Felices grow on trees. I've never met a person like her, and I really hope in the future that we can do some projects together. I have no hard feelings towards her whatsoever. I wish her well, and I hope you guys will support her in whatever she does as well. But going forward, this is the format, and I look forward to it. It's going to be a challenge where it's going to be bumpy for a week or two, so I apologize. Bear with me as we build this back up and we try and go in a different direction. You're dealing with somebody who barely understands computers at all. So the fact that I have not crashed a computer and we've been doing this for 2 hours, I think things are looking up for us. So I will be back tomorrow morning, normal time, 9:30 a.m. We'll do all the stories we cover, and then we'll do Friendly Fridays. And then I'll be with Jeff Friday night for date night. We may switch it to Saturday. I don't know. I got to talk to Jeff about that. But either Friday or Saturday night, I'll be Jeff for date night. And I hope to see all you guys there as well. And I'll see you all in the morning. Now I got to figure out how to get, I don't even know how to get out of here. It's crazy. See ya.